Hui, und auf geht's zum CBD, dem Central Business District. Ich habe gerade meine Maus gesucht, aber jetzt habe ich sie gefunden. Sie ist hier, in der Mitte. As the bus drove along a bridge, I snapped more photos of the yellow taxis that sped by. I also clicked my phone at some of the road signs passing overhead. The traffic lights here let out different beeps from the ones back home. Also, the red crossing man blinked instead of the green one. These simple differences were enough to make me smile. Yay, erstes Video. Aber ich habe dafür eine ganz leichte Lösung gefunden. Ich werde am Ende einfach abspeichern wieder. Und dann werde ich einfach diese ganze Reise nochmal spielen. Also was wir alles den Part durchgemacht haben. Und da ist irgendwo ein Krümel unter meiner Maus. Würden wir jetzt auch so spielen, würde mich das verrückt machen. Da muss mal alles spiegelglatt sein. In just under 30 minutes the bus steered into a parking lot. I had read only that these express buses terminated at Southern Cross Station, so this must be the place. Indeed, as the bus came to a stop, the driver said something like, "Welcome to Southern Cross Station." His voice sounded muffled, as my ears were still ringing from the flight earlier. The front door folded open, and with only a backpack to carry, I managed to worm my way out before anyone else. This dimly lit parking lot smelled a little too dusty for my taste. I could imagine some horror movies being filmed in here. Sunlight peeked in through a pair of automatic doors ahead. That must be the way out then. Either that or Exilia just happened to be standing outside, lighting up the place as she always did. Ah ja, immer diese Sparkle-Effekte. After adjusting my backpack straps, I left this bus terminal behind and stepped out onto the city streets. Ja, aber ich fühle mich wirklich besser, weil jetzt habe ich es nochmal anders umgeändert. Davor war es jetzt etwas weiter links von meinem Monitor, Standmikro, und jetzt ist es direkt in front of the Monitor. Und das passt auch hier alles so ganz gut. Hab halt nur die Tastatur jetzt 90 Grad nach rechts vom Monitor angewinkelt. Aber das passt schon. Ich nutze jetzt die Maus zum Klicken. A pair of trams drove past me from either side. That left one was a box-shaped model that looked quite ancient. The tram to my right, my comparison, looked like it came from the future. Those green and yellow carriages appeared spotless, as if they had arrived fresh off the factory. Printed along the middle carriage were the words, "Your next generation tram." Und noch ein Video, hui! I had seen photos of these trams online, but seeing them in real life brought me a whole new level of excitement. Hopefully I would have a chance to ride one before this trip ended. The bus driver had said something about us arriving in Southern Cross Station. I spun around and indeed there was the station sign displayed under the blue sky. The station's roof took on a wavy pattern, reminding me of ocean waves, or those graphs I never quite figured out back in math class. If I walked to the other side of the road, I should be able to get a better view of the station. I skipped up to a crossing and pressed the button on the lamp post. As I waited for the light to turn green, I noticed a dozen blue bicycles lined up by the curb before me. The word Melbourne was printed in white along each of their frames. There was a machine of some sort sitting next to each bike too. I guess these were rentable bicycles. Yet another foreign concept that fascinated me. Ja, wenn man einfach so in eine Stadt lang gehen kann und kann sich ein Fahrrad schnappen, da so, keine Ahnung, Geld reinwerfen. Obwohl, ist ein bisschen doof, wenn man die nicht zurückbringt. Beziehungsweise, wie soll das gehen? Aber wenn man da aber so ein GPS dran anbringen könnte, das wäre cool. Das könnte man vielleicht mal machen. Dann würde ich vielleicht auch mal wieder Fahrrad fahren. Meins ist ja, keine Ahnung, 3 oder 4 Jahre im Keller stehen geblieben. Da habe ich nachgeschaut, dann war es rostig und dann haben wir es weggeworfen. Ach man, ich hasse Sport. The green walking man appeared and I checked both sides while I crossed the road, just in case trams followed different rules or something. I had no idea how those trams and cars managed to navigate around one another on the same road. Then again, this might be why I never got myself a driver's license. After reaching the footpath opposite, I pulled out my phone to snap a photo of Southern Cross Station. Please look after me, Melbourne, for I had just become an official tourist. Time to take out the hand-drawn map I had left in my backpack. See, I came prepared. Yeah, super prepared. I had sketched the city's layout just in case my phone died, the internet died, or knowing my luck, both. Ja, von der Karte könnte man gut ablesen. Ich frage mich, was auf der anderen Seite ist. Bestimmt irgendwie so Pizza-Dingensens. This map might be a bit crumbled from the flight, but for a 2-day trip it should do the trick. I felt like a pirate hunting for treasure. Not only did I put together a map, I had also planned out a schedule to ensure no time went wasted. I traced a finger along the route of my first destination, Hosier Lane. Jetzt gehen wir erstmal die einzelnen Sehenswürdigkeiten ab, die sie machen möchte, bevor sie im Hotel ankommt. For an artist like me, there was no better place to kick off this trip. Hosier Lane was an alley that showcased artwork sprayed by local street artists, legally approved ones, just to clarify. Ah ja, stimmt. Melbourne really seemed to respect the sweat and tears of artists. Maybe if I sold my calligraphers on the streets here, I would have better luck than I did back home. To celebrate Exilia's event tomorrow, I heard Hosier Lane now featured works from local calligraphers. Hopefully stopping by for a visit might bring me some inspiration. I arrived at the valley and, well, calligraphers had indeed been painted across the brick wall before me. However, they all looked much like makeup ruined by tears. Ah. Ja, die waren alle so ein bisschen verunstaltet. Hier ist eine Kalligraphie und da unten auch. Und die zwei sind so überstrichen. Irgendjemand scheint wohl keine Kalligraphie zu mögen. I guess the works had to be wiped for the next set of artists, but they could have at least waited until after Exilia's show ended tomorrow. My works never received any attention, and I felt pleased that the calligraphers here suffered the same treatment. I loved this part of me, the part that yearned to lure everyone into my abyss. Exilia, on the other hand, had soared too high for me to bring her down. With her works shown in museums across the globe, she had no need to fight for space in an alley like this. In fact, one clap of her hands and she could probably buy this entire lane. Just pocket change, as she would probably say. Successful people like to set up tents on the mountain peak, leaving no room for new climbers to fit. If I ever reached stardom, I swore I would act differently. Ja, ich denke, das sagen die meisten. Jetzt auf YouTube gesehen, ich glaube sogar wirklich, dass... Ich meine, was hätte sich groß verändern? Was hätte ich anders machen, wenn ich größer wäre auf YouTube? Exilia shouted me a meal, and now here I was complaining behind her back. Maybe I should change my name from Winty to Envy. Night. With nothing to really look at here, I might as well leave. Und noch ein Video, ja. Aber das ist auch gerade so dieser erste von, ich glaube, 2 Tagen hat das Spiel, wo relativ viele Videos sind. Wir überstehen die schon so halbwegs. A row of trees sat in between the 2 traffic lanes on Queen Street. Sunlight poked through the leaves, casting blocks of shadows across the pavement below. A flock of baby birds chirped as they landed from the trees and skipped along the soil. Birds never had to bear the pain that came with having a dream. It must be nice in some days. Alright, enough of this emo talk. I checked the paper map for my next destination, the Eureka Skydeck. Ah, da kommen wir schon hin. Calligraphers from around the world had gathered for tomorrow's show. I read on a forum that they wanted to hold a meet up at at the tower this afternoon, so count me in, folks. My tummy growled, reminding me to eat first. I had planned to treat myself to a nice lunch on my first day, but I blew that money on my bus ticket from earlier. With knitted brows I bought a single dumpling from a dim sim stand and called that my lunch. I bet it would fill me up about as well as that dog poo sausage did. Ah ja, stimmt, wenn das so eine kleine Mahlzeit war. As I took my dumpling out of its paper bag, one of those old-fashioned trams were heading toward a stop ahead. The CBD trams in particular were free, so I might as well get on. Unsure if eating was allowed inside, I jammed the dumpling into my mouth before jogging up to the tram stop. Mein Hals wird gerade ein bisschen zu trocken. Aber gut, dass ich immer eine Wasserflasche hier habe, von der dann meistens die Hälfte weggeschmissen wird. Rather than parking directly next to the stand, the tram stopped in the middle of the street. I thought the engine might have broken down or something. Passengers were already starting to get off though. Did I have to cross the road to hop on? With nobody else in the queue, I had no reference at all. The train driver waved at me to get on. After glancing left and right for cars, I sprinted up to the tram and jumped in. This must be the standard way of boarding here. It made sense considering trams had no way of detaching from its track by park by the curb. Silly me. Und noch ein Video. I took a seat by the window and as the tram resumed its course, a male voice came through the speakers. The next stop is Spencer Street. Step off for Southern Cross Station. I ran a finger across the dust-speckled window sill to my right. The carriage appeared as if it was made of wood, and it gave off the scent of an ancient library too. I approved of this retro feel. For your safety, please take a seat in or hold on, because trams sometimes have to stop suddenly in traffic. The tour guide continued to speak. The recording reminded me to try and enjoy this trip. No sense letting this calligraphy thing gnaw at me all day when Melbourne had so many different sights to offer. I pulled the paper map out of my backpack to give it another read. The CBD tram circled around the city and the Eureka Skydeck sat just outside this route. I should get off at a nearby stop and leg it from there. After such a big lunch I could use the walk anyway. You can purchase a Mikey from one of hundreds of retail outlets, the announcer spoke on, but it was time for me to get off. The tram stopped once again, leaving space between its doors and the footpath. I checked both sides for cars before hopping off. The locals must be used to this, but I felt a bit like that frog in, well, Frogger. Following my map's directions, I stepped onto the bridge located ahead. This wide bridge allowed both cars and trams to drive across it. 2 lanes of trams, in fact. A lot of bicycles were swerving past me left and right. When I glanced down, I found a bicycle symbol painted underfoot, meaning I must have stumbled onto the bike lane by mistake. Feeling like a foolish tourist, I darted out of the bicycle area and back onto the footpath. A cyclist beamed at me as he rode past, even though he had every right to feel annoyed. Ja, man muss doch sehen, dass sie Ausländerin ist mit immer zu den Augen, dass sie sich da nicht auskennt. Vor allen Dingen das mit dieser Mikey, was dieser Typ eben gesagt hat, diese Mikey-Cards, die sie eigentlich hätte kaufen müssen und hätte bei dieser Tram da irgendwo reinstecken müssen in diese Schlitze. Das wusste sie bisher auch noch nicht, aber das kommt noch. Under a bridge sat a river that glittered under the afternoon sun. The Yarra River, according to my research. I pulled out my phone to snap a photo before strolling across the bridge. Was sagt eigentlich die Zeit? Und schon so viele Videos hinter uns und sind erst bei 15 Minuten. Ach man. After a 10-minute walk, I arrived outside the Eureka Skydeck. The vertically aligned letters on the logo resembled a tower, which might be exactly what they were going for. A group of backpackers made their way through the automatic doors. They could well be the calligraphers from that forum I always lurked in. For some reason, seeing these forum users in real life made my brows stain with sweat, or maybe the walk from earlier had just tired me out. Come on, Vinti, these people shared your passion for calligraphy, so they should be seen as your allies. I wanted to tell myself that, but if so, why did I shiver as though I was treading into a minefield? Oh ja, ich könnte mal wieder Minesweeper spielen. Oh, to heck with it. Turning around... Was? Zu Minesweeper oder? Turning around now would just be silly. I squeezed my back straps and stepped through the automatic doors. To my left stood a wooden wall with the tower's brandings painted across it. A long slanted light hung overhead to illuminate this logo. On the far side, those backpackers from before were queuing up for the elevator. There were more people here than I had expected. I hoped only a few of them were actual calligraphers. The man and lady behind the counter grinned as I approached them. With suits that well ironed, they could easily host their own TV shows. Good afternoon, the man said. Would you like to visit the tower? We have day and night tickets available, as well as a combo for a discounted price, the woman chimed in. They must be well rehearsed with this introduction speech of theirs. Admiring the night scene from the top would be nice, from the tower top would be nice, but I had best head for the hotel early for a good night's sleep, so I went with a day ticket. After I made the purchase, the male staff pointed at the dimly lit hallway. You will see the elevator on the far end. The lady nodded. Thank you, please enjoy the view. These two backed each other up with more grace than most married couples I knew. After saying thanks, I made my way down the hall and into the elevator. The Skydeck is the Southern Hemisphere's highest viewing platform. A male voice echoed as the numbers on the display soared faster than I could keep up. We might blast off into space at this rate. At 285 meters, that's the same as 20 of Melbourne's trams stacked on top of each other. The pre-recorded voice continued to list the tower's features. The upward force pressed my shoes against the floor, and that ear-popping sensation from the plane landing me a return, although it was far less severe this time around. Did you feel a sway at all? That's normal. In fact, the Eureka Tower can sway 30 centimeters in each direction. This had to be the most powerful elevator I had ever stepped foot in. The one in my apartment cracked after floor 3 and broke twice a month, so no contest there. We're nearly there. Enjoy the view and listen for the sounds of Melbourne above you. Welcome to Eureka Skydeck. The number display stopped at 88. A staff greeted me on the other side as soon as the doors opened. I said hi back as I hopped off the elevator. The tower walls consisted of glass panels so clean that they might as well be invisible. Nein, halt nicht unantastbar. I guess the staff maintained these panels daily to ensure customers got a clear view of the cityscape. There were binoculars set up around the tower, but with a view this clear, I had no issue with admiring the scene through my own eyes. I walked up to a nearest glass panel and took a glance down. This must indeed be the 88th floor, as the people below looked like rice grains. That must be how all looked through Exilia's eyes. Visitors snapped photos of Melbourne's skyscrapers as they strolled around the tower, while this one dude was taking selfies with the souvenir shop as the background. To each his own, I supposed. With so many people around, I had no idea which ones were the calligraphers from the forum. I might have to ask around, but first I stood by the glass panel and took a selfie for myself to keep. As I put the phone back into my pocket, a couple of girls came up to me. They both carried leather handbags that I bet were designer brands. These ladies had so much makeup on that they looked like they had been hit in the face. Kind of defeated the purpose if you asked me. "Hey there," one of them said. Cigarette breath. "You a calligrapher as well?" My cheeks reddened as I nodded. "You know, just as a hobby." I always blurted out those same words whenever people brought up the topic. When would I find the courage to confess this meant everything to me? One of the girls looked around. No signs of Exilia, just like I expected. We wasted our time trying to invite her. The other lady shrugged. She never even responds to emails. What makes you think the queen of calligraphy would show up in person just to meet ants like us? I could almost smell the hate seeping out of these two. It reeked like a skip of garbage collection day. The girls continued to rant about Exilia. She went to one of those of the cons near my place and charged $100 per autograph. That much money for a scribble. She for real? One time I asked her for a photo and she refused. Who does she think she is anyway? Exilia had rejected my request for a picture too. Surely there must be a reason we had failed to consider. Contracts, dealing with agents and all that other superstar stuff. The attacks continued, making me wonder why these girls even bothered flying to Melbourne in the first place. Might as well stay home if they really hated their idol that much. Exilia has rich parents, plus all of her siblings are successful as well. No wonder why she has so much money to throw around. Yeah, that's all it comes down to. We're the ones who saved 4 months just to fly here. Both of the girls turned to face me. Their stares pressured me into pinning my hands against the glass. One of the ladies said, "You're here to say Exilia as well, I'm guessing. Are you a local?" "I received a grant to fly over," I mumbled. The girls furrowed their brows as if I told them I had drowned a baby along with 3 kittens. Aww. Oh, government money, right. With that, the girls scattered off, probably searching for more like-minded folks to exchange complaints with. I gritted the teeth to hold back some choice words I had prepared for these fine ladies. Maybe they misheard me, but I got here through a grant, not by robbing a blind man's house. So much for these people being my comrades. After taking a few more photos around this tower, I returned into the elevator alone. With colleagues like those, I would rather go solo anyway. The doors closed, and as the elevator descended, that male voice came through the speakers once more. "Hope you enjoyed the view. The view from Skydeck is constantly changing. Brilliant sunshine, rolling clouds, pristine sunsets and dazzling city lights." I wanted to believe those bad apples would never reach the top, but that sounded like some sort of fable parents told their kids. Maybe it was all about money like those girls said. So many calligraphers showed up on the Skydeck today. I gazed down at my hands and wondered if they could really produce works that stood out among such a crowd. You're nearly back down to earth, so farewell. Enjoy Melbourne, it's the most livable city in the world. The elevator doors opened and I made my way out of the Eureka Skydeck. As I passed that duo standing behind the counter, they bid me farewell in unison. Okay, gut. Wie viel Uhr ist es jetzt? Oh shit, jetzt sind wir vor... Was? Wieso sind wir denn jetzt bei 24? Okay, danke fürs Zusehen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao. Halt. Ah ne, halt, hier bewegen sich Objekte, das heißt, es kann nicht irgendwie... Na gut, ciao.